It's been a good minute. Well, it's been quite some time. I have not commentated at all since a while. Belgium at the beginning of the season, to be specific. And yeah, so we have a 18, gonna be soon to be probably 19 car race. And we're gonna see who's gonna be first out on track. I'm gonna be a bit rusty at commentary because I haven't commentated ever since October. So, yeah. And no one seems to be going out right now. I think there's a zero loading glitch. Because normally someone would be out by now. And I'm gonna put the stream in the chat. And there's a car going out. I think I hear one getting fired up right now. It is a Ferrari. I think it is Raves. And if I am correct, it should be. Either that or it's Senpai Buns. And that was incorrect. It is Senpai Buns, who actually Fire Flake aka, who normally is the first out on track. So I'm not quite surprised with that, if I'm being quite honest. And this stream's gonna be awfully boring, just for a number of reasons. Because I'm not PMB, I'm not as loud or energetic as he is, and I haven't really commentated in quite some time. I haven't commentated since it was like October 2019. For the Belgian Grand Prix in this league, so yeah, it's been a while, let's say that. So I believe we have one driver making their first start. Yeah, it is Ghibli MSU, who has made starts in the league before. Relatively successful, won in his first start at Monaco in Tier 1 last season, which was the 6th race. And also Stiga Sleer, who don't know much about other than his pace. So we'll see. And if we go off everything, it'll be Senpai Buns setting the first lap of the session. And I'm pretty sure the first ever race I commentated in Tier 1 last season was at Dhabi Grand Prix, so it just all comes back full circle, which you gotta always appreciate sometimes. So beginning their lap, Senpai Buns. And I'm appreciating the new update right now with the mini-map. It makes sure we're not... Oh, I cannot talk. It's been some time. Yep, so Purple Sector 1 so far, but Senpai is the first car on track right now, so it's not really a good indicator on who's on pole. Yeah. And like I was saying before, I pretty much had a stroke. The mini-map really helps out a lot because, like, if there's a yellow flag on track and you're trying to locate where it's at, like right now, there it is. And I believe it's a Force India, probably either Duster or Outlaw. One of the two. And yeah, that was a perfect example. Like, there's no more guessing, and I really thank Codemasters for that. because that's a feature that's probably should have been added some time ago. And through a chicane, the second one at least, and we're gonna go through sweeping turns, turn 17. On board with the person who's gonna set the first lap of the session. Will be Senpai still. And we're going through the last series of corners. Easy to get invalidated here, so you have to be really careful. Currently 130s. Probably not going to be overall pole time. And almost loses it. But so far is good. Locks up the last corner because of it. And coming up the final corner, we'll set a 138.8. And Outlaw tops it by 2.5 seconds. At the 136.1, Sandro comes up with the 137.8. And Trevi, a bit slower than Machi, 139.7. Bit 9/10 slower. And Stigas is actually out of the session too. Crashed out right over there. You saw him on a JB Smooth's onboard. Not what he wanted in his first start, let's say that. And we'll take a look at Clemson fan is going to go in with a 138.8. Same lap as Machi, but on harder tires. GSR Hamilton is on fourth on the boards with a 138.4, and that's Julian Messina's first Tier 2 start. That's a 137.5. Not terribly bad for all of that. And yellow sector, that is Alfa Romeo, probably letting a few cars by, and it's Clemson fan. Speaking of the Alphas, Jones fan's on a current lap right now, going through the area where the Mercedes Stigas crashed. And Silly Rays actually tops Outlaw's time by a good half second, 135.6. Maybe Rays will be a contender for the win today. Who knows? But in the Alphas, Jones fan hops the curb a bit, but coming through his last corner. It's going to be Jones fan, he'll have a decent time. It's going to be a 136.8, that is 7/10 off Outlaw's time, 1.2 behind pole. And anyone else close to completing a lap? King Mafia started his first of the session. Last time King Mafia made a start, it was the 5th round of Tier 2 at Belgium. And he ended up DNFing and getting disqualified from it due to rule violations, like you would normally get disqualified for. So, it's pretty decent, and that's the Ferrari Rave slow after just setting the quickest time of the session. And actually, Sky Jets is closer to a lap, and that might be invalidated. Knowing this game, it actually might be. It's just a matter of keeping it within the limits. That's really the way to survive qualifying. But also, like, having overall pace is also a pretty good thing to have. And coming off the final corner right now, pretty good exit for Scotty. He's on a 135. That's going to be a 136.2. Not invalidated, only 1/10 behind Outlaw. But a good bit behind the Rays, about 6/10 back. And I believe Foley is out of the session at the fast right-hander, same place where Stigas crashed it. Not good for that team. K-Mafia is heading through the last series of corners right now, where it's really easy to get invalidated at. Bit wide, not sure how much it will affect his time though. Going off the final corner, it is going to be a 138.021 that put him P8 on the board right now, right behind Sandro, about 2/10 back. And there's another yellow sector that is for Raves and the Red Alt. JG fans going through the area where Florian Foley and Stigas crashed in the session. Shame for them. And JG fans wide. JG actually does have a podium. I think, pretty sure he got it at Hungary with a 2nd place, or that was USA, cannot remember exactly. Now my stats from Season 2 are going to be a bit off because I joined, like, near towards Season's end at Hungary, so not going to be the greatest. 136.3 is JG fan, putting McLaren's 3-4 right now, who just clinched up the Constructors' Championship last round at Australia in Tier 1. And Foley just set a time. Oh, never mind, he crashed. I am completely mistaken. Joseph's on a lap, and that is Trevi out of the session. He was just talking about how confident he was going into this round, but not sure. Finale Like season finales, this is where you want to get everything out of your car. This is the last chance you have to prove yourself, depending on what situation you're in. And I believe Trevi retired in the pits though, so I think he's okay. And GSR Callum, I think, is on a flying lap, either that or he's on in lap. I'm not 100% sure on that. His lap's actually invalidated. That really does actually help out commentators a ton. Because, like, when it turns all red, yeah, when it turns all red, that means, like, you just invalidated your lap, you exceeded track limits. And it's really helping us out a lot here. And Mafia's on a flyer. It's not going to be that good of a lap. That's going to be a 1:57.969. Definitely not anywhere close to pole. Adrios is going to say his first time in session after being pits for most of it. And come out of the hairpin. Good exit here. Can make or break your entire lap down the really long back street. Go over to telemetry here. Pretty decent on the shifting. We have 5 viewers, and I apologize for anyone who will hate my commentary, because you're going to. It's been so long since I commentated. Yeah, it's been a while. And Joseph does even activate, has just now activated DRS down the street. Very late reaction time there, a bit laggy. Doesn't really affect anyone too much currently. Has not invalidated yet. And I say yet, because Abu Dhabi is very difficult when it comes to navigating track limits. So we're going to want to be as careful as you can on these laps. I'm pretty sure Joseph's trying his best here. And just below 7 minutes left in this session. Qualifying's going to come down to the wire towards the end. Some surprise pole positions could come out, like last round. And come out the final corner, a bit wide is Joseph, and he'll set a 1:37.5, putting him currently P9 right behind Jab, but right ahead Sandro. And speaking of Sandro, he is on a flyer. He's 1/10 down on his lap. That's for, no, I think that was Mercedes back there. It's Joseph flying people by. And Sandro actually does have 2 podiums. He got one, and he got 2nd place at Azerbaijan in round 6, and he got one at Monaco, which I believe was round 12, if I'm not mistaken. So Sandro definitely knows how to keep his nose clean and all of that. It's just a matter of staying consistent with it, I think, is his issue. And Silly Raves the current pole sitters on an outlap. Pretty quick, it seems right now, half a second up on the closest person. Most probably going to be a favorite for the win if I say so myself. But Sandro currently P12 is 2 seconds down, not too confident on his lap right here. Yep, he will not improve, he's into the pits. And Jones fan's actually on a lap right now. He's 1/10 better. If he does improve this 1/10, he can go up on P6 right ahead of GSR Callum. And maybe that entire GSR duo. And at Haas right now, if he can improve enough. We'll see. Going off these final series of corners right here, which can make it or break it anyone's lap. No ERS left. He's using everything that he's got this lap. He'll set a 137.0. Must have lost a lot of time through his few corners. Looking on a good lap there. And Duster is actually on a really good lap, 5/10 up. An Outlaw actually takes pole back by only 1/10 over Raves, less than a tenth actually. In the racing point. Duster's teammate, 135.581. But going back to Duster, going through the last 2 corners. Should be smooth, letting Duster by on his lap, who seems to be 5/10 up, 34, 35, and has a 36.9. Improves on his lap, but will not move up any positions, unfortunately for him. I think Scotty Jets is on a flyer right now. I just completed his lap with a 136.2, improves on his lap. And Raves is the slightest bit up on his lap currently. Or has just got done with his lap. 100% sure. And they're going side by side on the straight right here. fairly decent entertainment at itself, masking behind my awful commentary. And WMSU is just set at 137.541. Does improve, stays P10 though. The GSR Callum is actually on a lap currently, one of the GSR duo drivers. And last race he did get P4. Actually that was, well, his teammate got P4 actually, GSR Hamilton. But GSR Callum ends up crashing out in the early stages of the race after having battles with everyone else on the track. Australia was a pretty wet and entertaining race, like I like to think, so yeah. I believe I'm sorry for the mic cutting out. It's just a headset I just got out of my closet, and it's not particularly great. Wasn't really expecting to be commentating today, because I didn't know I even had a working headset. So, yeah, we're here. That's all that matters. And WMSU is going to improve. That is pole position for him, actually, but it's only by 0.08 of a second over Alabama Outlaw. First Tier 2 start, definitely impressing a few. Trying to make a good impression on the finale. See if you can get a good Tier 1 ride possibly, or Tier 2. Either or. Scotty Jets has invalidated his lap, that's his session definitely over. And Sandro's only 100th down on his lap currently. So we'll see if he can maybe find some improvement through his second sector. Navigating it pretty well. It seems like the chicane's actually been a really good spot for invalidations. Because Scotty, both the McLarens, one of the Haas's, and now nearly Sandro there because I saw a bit of it cut. Definitely a good spot for invalidations and probably time penalties too. So, I don't know, I guess we're going to find that out when it comes to penalties during the race. But other than that, all that matters to Sandro is that he's still on his lap. Going through this fast section right here. Not only easy for invalidations, but easy for crashes, as we've seen with Stigaslier and Florian Foley, Sandro's teammate, who both the Toro Rosso drivers are in a battle for top 5 in points. So we'll see how this turns out. And I cannot stop at the mic cutting out. And Ray is actually, who's trying to improve on a lap right here, isn't going to make it to the flag. His session is now over. He's still on his out lap. So that is a shame for him. But Jones fan is on a current lap right now. He made it to the line. And he's just hoping to get P7 or maybe even P6 over GSR Hamilton or JG fan. And Duster doesn't seem to be improving on his lap. He's going to be heading into the pits any moment now. And GSR Hamilton actually made it to the line to start his lap. Actually, no. Raves is starting a lap right now, actually. Not sure how that works, because he was nowhere even close to the line when I was looking at him. Not sure if that was a feature a game added, or that's just a rule. Not sure. But regardless who's closest to completing a lap, I believe it's Joseph, who's only 500ths down, and validates his lap. That's his session over. And Jones fan's 1/10 up on his lap. Will he get anywhere with it? He just invalidates it in the last corner. I knew it was going to happen at some point to one of these drivers, but on the last lap of your session is not a good place for it to happen, and GSR Hamilton on the limit and validates his lap, and he's out of the session. And now that Senpai Buns improves by 6/10, could actually overtake 3 drivers with this one lap, theoretically. We'll see how he does. Coming out of this final corner right here. Not invalid yet, like JG fan. Will it be a 136? And it will be up to P8 actually. Beats out Jones fan with a 136.7. Let's see, Raves is 5/10 up. Might be pulled depending on how much he improves by. That is a 135.175. Absolutely destroys MSU's lap. Good stuff by Raves. And definitely gonna be a good battle for a win, I believe. Now I'm just gonna wait on JB Smooth. His lap's not invalidated yet. All the laps he has done were invalidated, so this might be his only one. Either way, he'd probably be starting at the back. Yeah, most likely will be. Coming out the final corner, he's gonna have maybe a 139. If a 139.8, not sure if it was invalid or not, but that is qualifying over. Good battle for pole position, I must say so myself. So we'll go over qualifying. I'm not sure why I'm getting XP. But anyways, Raves with a 135.1, Jad Bully MSU with a 135.5, Album Outlaw with a 135.5 as well, only 800s back. GSR Callum in 4th, Scotty Jets in 5th, JG Fan in 6th, GSR Hamilton in 7th, Senpai Buns in 8th, Jones Fan in 9th, and rounding out your top 10's Duster. Fairly eventful qualifying session, I must say. Yeah, I really hope it doesn't put me in the race. Because, yeah, if you couldn't tell already, I'm commentating. So I don't think being put in the race would be particularly a good thing. So anyway, we stalled the formation lap before the big thing. Yep, and I'm not racing, thank God, so I don't have to DNF myself. I'm not sure who Renault Fan is. I'll check if it's anyone related to anyone who's in the session currently, because I am not 100% sure. No clue who it is. Just hope they're not dirty. This doesn't really happen often. I don't know who that is, so hope they're clean. But anyways, not many people are readying up for a formation lap, but nerves are probably gonna get on people's back right now. Race start's gonna be eventful under the lights here, or we get going with the formation lap. And Raves has not won a race yet. Well, probably should have gotten a win at Canada if he had not lagged out during the restarted race. And there's a bunch of cars disqualified at the back there. There's a Mercedes and a Renault back there. Not keeping it too clean. But Silly Raves looking to impress a few people during the last race of the Tier 2 season. Same goes for literally everyone in this session, actually. So, yeah. Now I just realized we do have a full grid, in fact, for this race. 3 times in a row that has happened for Tier 2, so that's pretty good. William MSU is second. First start in Tier 2, don't know what to say. We'll see how he does. Outlaw got his 6th win last race at Canada with an 18-second gap. Pretty good gap over JG Fan. GSR Callum in P4. Has gotten a best finish of P8, and that was at USA during his first start. Scotty Jets and both McLarens actually invalidated. Both have gotten their own respective pole positions. And podiums, as a matter of fact. GSR Hamilton made his first start out of Australia last weekend. Ended up getting P4 after getting spun on the first lap. Looking to impress a few people in the last race, like, again, for everyone here. Senpai Buns is actually technically a Tier 1 driver. But ride might be in question. Has gotten a podium in Tier 2 before in their first Tier 2 start at Singapore with a P3. So, we'll see how this goes. Jones Fang got his first podium at Hungary 4 weekends ago, actually, it's a while. And Duster made his first start last race with a DNF'd after a collision with a DNF'd car in the chicane, which is a very bad place in Australia. So, cars starting to form up on the grid, top 3 specifically, not including the already DQ'd cars from the formation lap. I'm not even racing, nerves starting to build for me. But remaining calm is probably the best thing for a driver to do in this situation. So anyway, lights are gonna go out, just waiting for, I'm not sure who we're waiting for right now, but I think it's a Renault, might be King Mafia. Nope, I'm not sure who we're waiting for actually. But either way, they're getting on the grid right now, so thank God for that map feature. Anyway. So, waiting for the Haas to get in their proper grids. Why is the McLaren not... Okay. I just realized that. And anyway, lights are out for lap 1, away we go. Is Ray's gonna get a good jump over Dribble MSU? Not the best of ones. Going into turn 1 is gonna be to his inside. And Dribble MSU takes the lead back after getting pole stolen from him last race. And there's a Renault off back there, it's King Mafia. Got spun off in turn 1. And Jab holds the lead. Raves actually falls back to P3. Outlaw has now gotten by. And if virtual safety car is out, it's GSR Callum out. Ooh, right there at his dangerous spot. So virtual safety car probably was needed. So the field will get bunched up again. Make sure not to speed, because a drive-through penalty could really cost you. And the field's gonna get bunched up again. That's a good thumbnail. Alright, and I think Outlaw's gonna try making a move, looking for his 2nd win in a row, 7th of the season, which would be a GSR record. And he's trying to get to the inside of Jab, but he's doing an excellent job on defending P1. Going into the 2nd chicane for the first time this race, got Outlaw with the racing line, and gets by Jab, breezed by him actually. And that is Jab, probably might be a sitting duck to Raves. Not quite though. McLaren duo Scotty Jets and JG set back in P4 and 5. Senpai Bonds actually moves up to P6 off the start. And an Alfa Romeo duo of Jones fan and Clemson fan. 7th and 8th, Duster in 9th, and Sandro up to P10. That's the yellow sector back there. That is JG fan out. I just talked about him. Where was it at? Cars might actually... Oh, someone must have put him in that wall. All that matters to anyone else right now is that they're not JG and Callum. That's another virtual safety car. This update is really making VSCs and safety cars more frequent. They do what the update says, and that's why I appreciate it. So that looked like a pretty good shunt for JG fan. Right in the middle of the track, surprised it wasn't an actual safety car. That's Braden Bryan in the pits with no front wing. Now he'll go. And the field's getting bunched up for a 2nd time. We haven't had a full lap of racing yet. So we'll see if we can get one. I believe it's probably coming in. But right now, cars are starting to speed up. And yep, I believe so. Outlaw's going quick. Hopefully I'm right. Probably not. That's Jab Williams. Huge hit the back of Outlaw there. Might well be a penalty. Because VSC collisions and all that, no matter how light it is really strict. Going into the first chicane right now, where Outlaw started his move last lap. As Jones fan with the 3-second penalty, it's going to be first to many for these drivers. And Jab's actually really close to the gearbox of Outlaw. Back gap's probably a lot less than 3/10 currently. Because he's right to his gearbox. I mean, there's not much to say. But we'll see. Jab's impressing a lot of people during this race. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get... If he gets a ride next season for either of the tiers, because he can probably compete in both. That's Raves a bit wide, loses a bit of time. So now let's Scotty catch up a bit. And Jones fan's getting awfully close to the Ferrari. Very laggy, actually. Speaking of Scotty, just talked about him, he has a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. Figured there'd be a ton of those during this race. And comes in fans really close to his laggy teammate, a Jones fan. I'm not sure if DRS got enabled or not. Wasn't really looking at race control. Yellow sector 1 and 2. Is Stigas off, and Joseph colliding with a few people. That hits JB's AI, I believe it is off. And that's Stigas spun out again. I'd like to pay attention to what's going on here. But it's a bit hard to when there's people wrecking in the back. And that is King Mafia and Joseph collided back there. Now out of the session. Not the third virtual safety car in the third lap of the freaking race. Alright. Maybe the VSCs were too common with this update because we've had 3, it's only lap 3. So yeah, might want to make it a bit less frequent. Because Mafia's car was barely even on the track, so I don't know. VSCs don't really last too long though. And it bunches the fuel up for more battling. And probably more wrecks. Which is why the VSC frequency thing is probably a bad idea. Sorry if you heard that, I had a really bad cough. And Sky Jets actually sets a new fastest lap of the race, 146.5. I don't think anyone's going to top that as of right now. And Jones fans getting really close to the back of Senpai. And Sky Jets, I think, just moved into P3. Yep, he does. Will Silly Raves fight back at all? It's the real question here. GSR Hamilton, 3-second penalty. Back in P11 for some reason. Didn't see what happened to him. And DRS is enabled, actually. I just did not see it. And Stigas is speeding in the pit lane. And I think Raves looked for a move there. Probably had the speed to get by him. Just couldn't make it work, and Foley just made a move on his teammate, Rapid Sandro. And it's off now. Hits the bollard. And Sandro's gonna come back to his outside and breeze right by him. Well done by the Toro Rosso duo. But that is letting GSR Hamilton catch up in return, so let's see how this goes. And Foley fancied a move, did not go for it. And actually, I completely missed a move, and that is Outlaw going completely wide, trying to take the lead back from Jab. I was just referring to how I missed a lead change between Jab and Alabama Outlaw, and then takes the lead right back. So, see this. Raves is right behind Scotty Jets now. I think Scotty might be out of DRS range of those two up in front here in a few. As Jab with the fastest lap with a 141.5. Definitely a lot more entertaining than the Tier 1 race I commentated. Season 1. Just a tad more. You know, 2 drivers finishing. So we're probably going to see him move for first place on the DRS straight with Jab and Outlaw. And probably race to Scotty unless Scotty can get DRS here. Which I think he barely got it. 9/10, 988 thousandths. It's 1 second for DRS detection, so... And he did get it. That is surprising. I didn't know he was in range. That is Jab going for a move on Alabama Outlaw's outside. Outlaw's not going to let him go easily. He's going to fight back. And tried, but did not succeed, unfortunately for him. But that's Outlaw. He's going to have DRS coming into the second chicane right here. Is he going to fancy a move? He will not. But Raves got really close to the back of Scotty Jets there. And actually might have gotten a warning or two right just then. Because those chicanes are very easy spots to get corner cutting penalties and all the everything around. And Raves right to the gearbox going into this fast right-hander. Gets a better exit than Scotty, right to his outside currently. Bit of contact, nearly spinning him out as a matter of fact. Tries a little switcheroo, almost had the same fate of JG fan right there. Almost got into that barrier. And that's Raves back into P3. And there's a close gap on track between Foley and Trevi, who has I thought lagged out for a moment. Jab with the fastest lap. I think it's a 148 if I'm not mistaken. And Jones fan got by Senpai when I was not looking. And I believe Clemson's probably gonna do the same as his alpha teammate. There's a yellow flag. Sector 1 and 2. That is Outlaw. Does he have any wing damage? And that is Senpai gaining a position from Clemson fan. Oh, he's fighting back from him, actually. Not sure what happened with Outlaw. But that's Scotty up in the P3 now. Not sure if Senpai does not have DRS, so I think it's going to be a sitting duck here. We'll see what Jones fan, we'll see what Duster does, actually. We're 3 wide heading into the chicane right here. Bit of contact. Senpai Bun's absolutely sandwiched. And goes through. That's Outlaw, 3-second penalty. One of the Force Indias cut chicane, that was Duster. They're still side by side right here. Heading into the second chicane. Battling is pretty decent right now. Almost a bit of contact. Not surprised there hasn't been more contact between these 3. And Duster too. Still not sure what happened with Outlaw. He doesn't have wing damage, so I can only assume he collided with that wall. Which is a shame, because he looked to have a pretty quick car. But now it's just a 3-car train for P5. And Clemson fans trying all they can to get by Senpai so we can get the alphas and like right abreast from each other, but so far Senpai is holding their ground. And that's Duster and Outlaw, both Force Indias pitting. Those cars are gonna get stacked in the pit lane. That's gonna be more time lost. That is Jab. Jab's crashed. Same spot where Outlaw did just 1 lap ago. He has spun out. That is Silly Raves into the lead. And that is Senpai Buns colliding with Jones fan. Trying to defend, do all he can to defend. A lot of contact currently. This race is going insane. This is, again, a lot like the Tier 1 race last season. Absolute insanity when it comes to crashes. Senpai Buns trying to get anything they can out of the slipstream. Tries really late lunge. And collides with Clemson fan. That's going to be a lot of wing damage for the Ferrari. And so it is. I think half that wing's gone. Shame for both of them, because I believe Clemson fan also has wing damage too. That's going to let Jab probably get back up into P4. But definitely not up to where they were before, unfortunately. And, yep, I think Senpai is actually catching up to Clemson fan up there. But they both had the same amount of wing damage. I'm pretty sure they're both going to have to pit too. So that's a shame for both those 3. Or 2, I should say. They're having really good races, just a bit too aggressive on the battling side. Now they're going to be sitting ducks to Jab unless they pit. Which they most likely will. Senpai does. And misses the pit lane, as a matter of fact. It seems like every race I commentate has a missed pit lane, and Senpai tries fighting back, spins themselves out into the wall. Senpai with even more damage than before. In their defense, they did try pitting, but missed the pit lane, tried fighting back with almost more than half their wing gone. Didn't go so well. Now it's lost Trevi right behind Senpai with a good bit of lag. And gonna have DRS on a straight, while Senpai will not, unfortunately. Now we're gonna look at Outlaw. Nearly sliding and spinning out while battling with Foley. I think Trevi might fancy a move on Senpai into this chicane. And I have to look at Outlaw right here. Going for a move under Foley, trying to fight back after that spin earlier. Bit of contact, but they're okay. And Senpai's defending with Trevi over here. Because I did see a position swap, but then immediately go back to 7th and 8th. So we'll see what goes on between these two. Senpai's very infamous with the way they defend. And will not be able to defend Trevi, unfortunately for them. And not only Alabama Outlaws fight through the pack now. Who couldn't remember the Season 1 Tier 2 champion is Outlaw. Very uncharacteristic mistake by them. Just put him into the wall. And now Silly Rays and Jets are going to pit. That's going to put Jones fan in the first. Clemson fan into second. And Jabolia Masu is currently battling with him in the P3. Hopefully making the pit strategies work. Probably go to the end. Raves goes on the mediums. Scotty Jets also goes on the mediums. There's the yellow sector 1. I think Jab spun it again. He did. Same place. Same range of time before they pit. Jab's on the medium strategy currently. So on a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to tires. That is JB Smooth and Duster battling. Bit of contact. For the most part, I think they're okay. And Brandon Bryan, I think, just got passed by Outlaw, and yep, Outlaw's pulling away by a good bit. And I believe Outlaw's going to catch Trevi right back here. With DRS on the back straight. Outlaw's trying to fight his way through the pack after losing half his wing after hitting the wall in the same place where Jab has spun it twice. That's definitely been a place that's caught people out this race, apparently. And we'll see what Outlaw does. He'll go for a move to the inside of Trevi, and Trevi will not fight back. He lets him by. Renault fan's actually closing in on Sandro with DRS right there, and he will not get to him, unfortunately. Renault fan, don't even know who he is, if I'm being honest. But he's racing clean, so it's all I can ask for. Currently trying to get by Sandro right now. If Sandro can score just any points, he can beat out his teammate for top 5 in points. So, keeping into the points is anything that Sandro could ask for right here. That's Jab into the pits finally. I'm assuming he'll go on to the hards. He's going to go into the mediums again. Unless he already pit, which I don't remember if he did. And he's going to get DQ'd if he doesn't pit again for a new set of tires. It's a shame for him, he's pretty quick. He's going to maybe come out ahead of these two. We'll see what happens. And Jab barely does, though. That's Sandro wide, and that lets the Renault fan go by. And maybe GSR's Hamilton right here. Right into the hairpin, tries to make a lunge. Gets a better exit, though. Remember, Sandro's also going to have DRS, but better straight line speed, it seems, for GSR Hamilton. Sandro's doing all he can to try to stay in the points, but his efforts are not going to be enough, unfortunately. The Haas will go by, take P10, and collides with the Williams of Renault fan. There's now good wing damage for that Haas. That's going to be 3 abreast down the back straight, or nearly at least. As the Williams backed off. Pretty good battling going on right here. And that's Jabolia Masu by JV Smooth for P6. Trying to make his strategy work. And I believe that that's all the gaps that are close on track. And Sandro, knowing that Hamilton probably has wing damage, is probably going to want to try to get by him as quickly as possible and get as many points to try to stay ahead of Florian Foley in the points. But I think Hamilton's managing it, or it might not be severe enough. And I believe Jab's in the pits again. Nope, it's Joseph. It's Mercedes. Sandro's heading back, trying to stay with GSR Hamilton, but is struggling. Well, Renault fan is just trying to keep him within the gearbox of Sandro, so he can try to pass him again in the chicane. But as long as Sandro stays into the DRS range of GSR Hamilton, I believe he will be fine from an attack from Renault fan. And into the chicane, not chicane, the hairpin. There's actually 4 cars now. The disconnected car, JB Smooth. He's gonna get in the way right here. Maybe at least. Yes, Hamilton gonna go by him. Don't think he's gonna pose much of a threat. He will not. And Renault fan's really close to the back of Sandro. He's going to go for a move now. But Sandro also has DRS, so it's a matter of who has the better straight line speed. And I believe it is Renault fan, backs out really late into the chicane, tries to make something work, but will not, unfortunately. And while all this is happening in front of him, Outlaw is just staying with him. Better try to avoid penalties too, because those could really screw up your race. That is Jones fan into the pits now. That's gonna let Raves, Clemson fan, and Scotty Jets be your top 3 now. And Duster in P4, as a matter of fact. And now this pack is really getting held up by a disconnected car, JB Smooth. Very held up. I think Sandro might have collided with him at some point. And Sandro's now by him, but same cannot be said for Renault fan and Alabama Outlaw. Here comes Renault fan for that move. On the disconnected car, will not make it work. That's gonna let Outlaw get by him. On somewhat fresh mediums. At least maybe there's a bit of contact. Almost 3 abreast down that little area. Don't know what to call it. I think there were 3 wide through that first chicane. That's Renault fan wide, still fighting back. A bit more contact now. Outlaw's now by. I believe they're both gonna have DRS. Nope, Renault fan will not. There's yellow sector 1, not sure who for. Not sure. Might have been a Toro Rosso. Or one of those guys back there. Yellow sector 3. It is a Mercedes. I think it's Stigas. With no front wing. I was correct. And here comes Alabama Outlaw trying to get by Sandro. And Sandro will not attempt to fight back. Actually does 6-1 to the inside. Did not make it work, unfortunately, for him. Another yellow sector 3. Not sure for whom. And Joe's trying to make a move. And there's a virtual safety car to stick us out of the session. Not sure where at on the track, though. We'll see if we can find out. And Sandro's into the barrier, went AI. He paused the game. That's Renault fan off and nearly colliding with it. JB Smooth's AI. Not sure where he retired at, though, that's the thing. Can't really tell what position right now because he was the last car on the track. So, not sure. And Sandro has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane on top of the wing damage he just got. What a shame. And to the pits. Which safety car is no longer active. What a shame for Toro Rosso in the last race of the season. Had some good pace. Not stick with it though. And out at the pits, Sandro's gonna come now. Or only a lap away from the halfway point. Raves has a pretty comfortable lead over Scotty. But you can't really get too comfortable though. Because that can cause a good bit of mistakes. We saw that quite often in Tier 1. So I don't know. Renault fan trying his best to stay within DRS range. But I think the real battle back here, we need to look at Senpai Buns and Joseph. Midfield battle is looking pretty good. And Senpai collides with Florian Foley. Florian's actually on the sauce right now. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take those to the end. But Senpai has DRS. Foley going really aggressive, pushing him off the track even. Might be an illegal overtake. And Foley fights back. Joseph's watching this all happen, trying to maybe take both of them. And well, probably not. I think we've had 4 virtual safety cars, which at this point, when it comes to a DNF car, I think we should just have a full-blown safety car. Which should also make this race a lot more interesting, in my opinion. But Joseph's trying to stick with them all. Trying to keep with them. Try to take P13 out of this. It's not points, but it's definitely a better finishing position than 15th, and that's to the outside, actually, of Senpai Buns. Florian Foley trying to keep his P13. Senpai trying all he can. Goes a bit wide. I'll have to invite Scotty back here in a few. Actually, there's a lot of contact at Senpai, a bit wide. Probably more wing damage to that matter. And that's Senpai moved down to P14. I'll have to invite Scotty back real quick. I'm sorry for the pause. He's in P2. Alright, I try to get out as quickly as possible. So, and Jones fans, who is currently in 6th place, another 3-second penalty. And I think Joseph's going to fancy a move into the chicane. He looked for it, and so did Senpai to Foley. And Foley tried to rejoin him on the track, but got right into Joseph. Foley's not going to be happy with that move at all. Not one bit. There's a pact forming at the front. I hate to break this battle up, but this pact right here is probably going to be the battle for the podium, so I'm going to focus a bit on it. Duster, Alvin Outlaws' teammate, is currently set in P4, trying to take racing points. I'm not sure what number podium, but he's going to the inside for the podium position. And so Jab's going to the inside of Duster. That's Elo's Sector 3. Not sure for who. And that is a traffic jam and a half. That is Foley and Joseph. Must have gotten too aggressive in battle. And Jab's moved up to P3 when we last checked on that. I think, yeah, Clemson was a sitting duck with no DRS. And now the Alfa Romeos are right in front of each other. So we'll see what Duster's gonna do. They're in a yellow sector. Foley might have crashed out, or crashed again. And Duster has DRS, is trying his best to fight back from half a second back, but that looks too good. Jones fan got by Clemson, his teammate. He was pretty much sitting duck on the back straight from P3 to P6 in one lap in the Alpha. And Outlaws to the back of GSR Hamilton, cuts the corner a good bit. And Outlaws right now by GSR Hamilton, but Hamilton is fighting back on the outside in this fast right-hander, which may not be the best of ideas. And a good bit of contact right here. I mean, ooh, yep, and bad wing damage for GSR Hamilton. There he is, spun out. Resets the track. That's Clemson fan to the pits now. I think it's as his first pit stop of this race. Now it's going to leave Jones fan to try to catch up to Duster right here. And pretty good on the brakes into this chicane right here. I believe a podium for Duster or Jones fan's out of the question now. But P4 isn't for either of these guys. Only 4/10 back. Duster visibly gets the better exit though. Yellow Sector 2. Not sure for who. I think it might be for Trevi. Yep, it is. No front wing, or nearly no front wing. Sector 1, I'm sorry. And Jones fan's now getting really close to Duster. I think Duster might close the gap to Jab a bit, but it's not enough for it to matter at this point. Yet another yellow Sector 2, this time, is a Haas. And there's a battle for P4. And pretty tight through the chicane. It's not going to be anything special. And it will be here, because that's going to be Jones fan around. Gets it going fairly quickly, though. But right now he's lost his chance for P4. It's completely spun out after hitting it off the back of Duster. That's going to leave Outlaw to close the gap between those two a lot more. I'm not sure if it'll be enough by the end of the race to catch up, though. That's the thing. So I don't know. We'll see by the end of this. And Senpai is getting pretty close to the back of Trevi here, who both are trying to go to the end. I'm not 100% sure on strategies. That is a Haas off. It's GSR Hamilton out of the race. Same place where a few cars left in qualifying. That might be an illegal overtake for Senpai. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, because they overtook under yellow flag conditions. Which, if you know, that you can't do that, so we'll see if Senpai will end up letting him by. I'm not sure if it was even a penalty to begin with, so. And that's Trevi into the pits now. JP Smooth's in the pits with a new front wing. That's an odd glitch. Alright. What a shame for GSR Hamilton. And Trevi tried pitting at the same time. You're gonna have to wait a bit. And the Fool's Bone safety car is out. Foley is now DNF'd. Right before that right-hander on the map, if you can see. Right where Williams is passing. That shakes up this entire race. And I think Jones fan just got a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. To add to his woes. I think Outlaw got some kind of penalty. Yep, a drive-through, same offense. That's how you shake up a race. Outlaw just got another 3-second penalty for corner cutting under safety car. This race just got really interesting, and the entire ending could be affected because of this. Wow. Then, like, if the safety car was put out for Foley crashing on the outside of the track, why wasn't it put out for GSR Hamilton crashing in the first place? Makes you wonder. But Duster's into the pits, new front wing will not be. Going onto the softs, trying to make it go to the end. And out he'll go. Outlaw's gonna pit. That's the second stack for these Racing Point cars. I'm sorry if anyone's mad at me or just ashamed of my commentary skills. I apologize, I just haven't commentated in so long. So my commentary's like god awful, I guarantee it. I think everyone's probably gonna be going to the pits, except for Senpai Buns actually wants to go to the end. Pretty bad move on their end in my opinion, but what do I know, I'm the commentator. So I think this gives a chance for Scotty to probably come back and take this victory now. Maybe for Jab, and maybe even Outlaw, if he can slice his way through the field in these last few laps. I don't know, we'll see. As Brian is coming out of the pits right now. He's good safely. Well then. This race has shaken up, and that can't be understated. Pretty much everyone in the top 5 is now in contention for this win. They have the pace to contend. Just a matter of making the moves. And I believe Scotty and Jab are definitely capable. Duster and Jones fan is a bit questionable though. So I don't know, we'll see how this goes for everyone involved. Outlaw with another 3-second penalty for corner cutting under safety car, which is a bit odd, I must say. And Outlaw trying to end the season like, you know, he clinched the title last race on Australia after Team LM could not show up due to various reasons. And he's a champion trying to end the season off on a high note. He already broke the record for most wins in a season, and GSR was 6. He's trying to make it 7 now today, if he will. And I can probably assume the safety car might come in this lap. So it might probably be a 9 to go restart for these guys. Because we just reached a 10 to go point. I think almost everyone's back into the grid. Just waiting for a few of those guys who crashed and had to pit. Well, can't say I was expecting a safety car to come out this late into it. But, look, I mean, Cody said that safety car would come out a lot more frequently. I mean, they weren't lying. Definitely say that. And all I'm saying, a collision under VSC or safety car can definitely screw you over. And also, I must say, I'm not sure if Outlaw served that drive-through, but if you don't, you will get disqualified. It's not like a stop-go where if you don't serve it, you can just like go on and take the time after the race. Like, you have to serve it or you're DQ'd and put dead last in 20. So odds are probably want to take that stop-go if I were them. And based off experience in other leagues, I could say take that drive-through, I mean, not stop-go. But I think we're waiting on Joseph, Sandro, and Trevi. I'm not sure when the safety cars are going to come in or if they're going to wait. Preferably for the guys that want in the softs, that will want to wait for those guys in the back. But there's never a guarantee at this stage in the race. And we'll see from the onboard of Raves if it's going to come in. I don't believe it is. Luckily for Joseph and Sanjo it's not, but for the leaders, I think it's good for them, for ones who went on the softs. Still not sure if Outlaw serves that drive-thru, because if he didn't, he's going to get disqualified at any moment, unfortunately, and same with Jones fan if he didn't. Yep, and they're going to wait one more lap. It's going to be an 8 to go restart then for these guys. Yeah, Duster, I think, looking for something to prove after his pretty disappointing last race, where he collided with a DNF'd car. And it's JB Smooth with a severe collision penalty. Again, penalties under safety car could really screw you over. But anyway, Duster trying to prove something to everyone after colliding with a DNF'd car last race, then getting hit by another driver, causing not only that driver's but Duster's DNF. In the top 7 is all Americans. The closest European is Senpai, who is French. So definitely a lot more Americans in this grid, and I'm pretty sure there's only 2 non-Americans left in this race. And Duster with a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits, again, under safety car. Not sure if it's a racing point thing or something, but still not sure how you can do that under safety car. And it's Trevi into the pits, as a matter of fact. Well, you better try his best to catch up, because there's only a chance for getting any positions in this race is hopefully catching up to that pack, because they probably should be going in this lap. And Scotty's now taking the lead. I think Raves is AI under safety car. Yep, he is. That's probably what caused... Yep, the safety car's in this lap, raced by race control. Scotty's taking the lead due to Raves going into the pause menu. And I'm just saying, if that's how Raves loses this race, I'll feel so bad for laughing. Yes, I will laugh on the broadcast if that's how he loses this race, because that will be just embarrassing. Like, I've had my pretty embarrassing moments in league racing, but like, I'm never contending in the front, so that never happens often. And with Raves being AI, that's going to leave Scotty to have pretty clear view for the restart with 2.1 second gap. I'm not sure if Raves is AI just for his safety car, or if he's just not able to race right now. But anyway, safety car is in. Scotty Jets is now racing away with the lead. And now Raves is unpaused. And now there's yellow. That's Duster off. Any wing damage on that car? How'd that happen? I think there is, but I'm not sure how much I can... That's Joseph out of the race now. Okay, there's too much to talk about right now. Jab's trying to get to the back here. That is an Alpha off. It's Jones fan now out of the race. Could we see another safety car after one just came in? We've had 4 virtual safety cars and 1 safety car. This is too much. I'm just simply put. And no DRS is going to throw a lot of these guys off, I must say. And I believe it's going to be a hinder for Raves maybe taking this win. And not only that, like, you have to take into account penalties too. I have not mentioned that when it comes to finishing results at all. Because penalties can really decide an entire race for a specific driver. I cannot talk. I'm not used to talking this much because I'm not used to commentating. Anyway, Outlaw's getting really close to the back of Clemson, who are both on fresh softs. Clemson's been having a pretty good race the entire time. And Clemson's hoping to keep that position for P4, record his best finish since Hungary. But it's not looking too good for him right now, as Outlaw's creeping behind him. There's a collision with Brian and Renault fan. That's Brian spun out. I'm assuming no front wing. Nearly comes up in front of Trevi. Yep, no front wing for Renault, unfortunately. Sky now sets fastest lap. Outlaw's now pitting. I don't think he started his drive-thru. Yeah, there's no reason why he would have to pit right now. Yeah, he's serving his drive-thru. Oh, made all that comeback, all that for nothing right now, it seems. Unless another safety car comes out, which may be likely. I believe his chance for any good finishing position is now over. Not a good way to end Tier 1's clinched champion. And still no DRS for these guys. Probably not going to be so good. And Senpai, I think, is holding up this bunch right here. Yeah, losing a second, almost a sector, for his Renault fan. And Sandro, who I would not be expecting to be in P7 right now, if you have asked me 10 laps ago when he was sitting in P16. I think Sandro's going to make a move on Renault fan, trying to end the season on a high, and Renault fan does not fight back at all, just lets him right by. That's going to be Sandro's job to try to fight Senpai, but Renault fan's going to maybe attempt to fight back here. I still feel bad, really bad for Duster, who's pitting again right now. Or he's pitting for the first time. Right when the safety car went in, bam, just right out. Yeah, amazing commentary. Nice job. Let's see that. Alright. Renault fan closing in on Sandro, but Sandro's also closing back in on Senpai. This pack is getting held up. And the Renault fan's going to the inside of Sandro, almost spins himself out. But so far is fine. And I think DRS has probably been enabled. Actually, I think that'll be next lap. I'm not 100% certain. I haven't really been keeping up with laps. I've just been watching everything here, and that's Sandro nearly crashing the car. That's gonna let Renault fan get by him. Well, Sandro gets a pretty good entrance and exit. Completely obliterates him. That is Clemson fan spun off. Bunch of wing damage on his part. That might let Senpai Buns get P4. And in Clemson's chance, and that's Trevi out now. Same place where GSR Hamilton crashed in qualifying in Alabama Outlaw. Crashed a few, and that is Raves and Jets trading for the lead now. I believe DRS has been enabled. Now it's going to be a three-way fight for the lead. Between Jabali MSU, Scotty Jets, and Silly Raves. Scotty's a sitting duck, unfortunately, with no DRS. But Jab's going to try and move on the outside. And makes it stick. That is Jab to the lead. This is where it can get interesting. A bit of touching between Raves and Jab. But right now it's fine. And we'll see Raves outbreak himself and lose a bit of time to the Williams in front of him. And I believe the Williams might just drive away with this one. Remember, last time we seen a Williams win was Houndoom at Britain. And that was race 14. So this is probably going to be a good winless streak broken for the Williams guys. As a Ferrari off, that's Senpai Bun sitting in P4. Was having a good run for them. The last time they had a decent run like they were just having was at Singapore with the podium. Not anymore. And Clemson went with a 3-second penalty. I'm sorry I had to mute Mike there for a moment. That is Clemson in the pits. Again, real shame for them. Having such a good run, only for it to be ruined by a spin. I think Jab's actually pulling away from Silly Rays back here. Only 5 laps remaining in the race. It is crunch time. That's just going now. But depending if Raves can catch him, Jab's going to be a sitting duck. But with any battling that happens, Sky just going to be sat here, hopefully trying to get both of them. I'm just saying, a battle between these three at the end is probably an amazing way to end the Tier 2 season. Our first Tier 2 season, for that matter. Absolutely amazing way. But I think my suspicion's right. Jab might be pulling away. And as I say that, Bolt reels Jab in. Trevi's left. Shame for them. They're set in P9, I believe, at the time of their crash. Gonna pick up some good points, try to end off the season, try to keep it top 5 in points. Could not today. Now it's top 3. We're gonna see how this ends up turning out. Because the closest person from the top 3 in P4 is Renault fan, 14.8 seconds back. That's a good bit of a gap. Then you have the less than 2 seconds 1.4 seconds from between first and third. So, like, any mistakes that any of these guys make is going to be taken advantage of by all of these guys. So Raves is going to be a bit closer out of the hairpin than DRS range. Yeah, enable a pretty good reaction time right here. I think Jab might lose his lead right here. Who knows? Scotty's is winning back here. Try to hopefully take the lead. And Raves coming out of this first chicane into DRS straight into the second. Not sure if he's going to get him. It's going to take a lot of effort to try to get by Jab. He will try defending as much as he can. And didn't, as I said that. So, and I think Jab, and when it's not a straightaway, or anywhere that requires any top speed, I think it gets away a lot by Raves. And again, I believe pure consistency by Jab and lack of penalties is probably what's going to win him this race. If he's ever put in that position. So we'll see how this turns out. Yeah, I think Scotty's starting to lose touch with silly Raves. Going really wide, starting to lose his rhythm. Only 3 laps to go. Any mistake now might cost you your position. Yeah, Jab's starting to... I think he's starting to pull away now. And yeah, he is. Gotten to an 8/10 gap now. If he can get out of silly Raves' DRS range, I think he can probably take the win. And Outlaws actually closed in on Renault Fan. I just started this drive-through. I didn't think he'd probably fight his way back up the P4 already. But excellent drive by Outlaw so far. We'll take a focus on Raves right now. He's trying to get by Jab for a lead. Might get it done right here. So we'll see how this goes for the Ferrari against the Williams. Which is a battle you would have seen in the 90s, but today seems very unlikely. But Racing Point and Williams does not seem too unlikely. And that's going to happen down this back straight. Renault Fan's going to go defensive. I think he's going to let him by. Actually, yep, Outlaw goes right by. But the same won't happen for Jab and the Williams right here. Raves could have been close enough for a possible lunge, but might have been pretty unsafe, might I add. That's a 2/10 gap now. Again, I believe penalties is what's going to cost Raves or Scotty the win. And to the right-hander, and so Raves does catch up to Jab by a good bit right here. We're heading into 2 laps remaining by the time we come around this next series of corners. Man, I'm not sure how this is going to go. But either way, I can see one of the top 2 taking the win. The only way I could see Scotty winning this is if Raves and Jab collide. And judging by how Scotty was sliding around, coming off that final series of corners, I don't think Scotty taking the win's likely. But Raves is now closer than he's ever been since the restart to Jab. That's Jab a bit wide. Again, any mistake can be taken advantage of. But Jab is not going to give in. And I believe Jab's playing the smart. He's going to get DRS'd on this back straight, try to get by Raves. A good exit is what you need, though, to take that position. But I think Raves might be gone. On exit, yep. I believe that Jab might have just lost this win. But you never know, there's still a chance he's staying with him on the back straight, might I add. And I believe he's going to go for a move. He's close enough. Raves going defensive. And Jab taking P1 momentarily. But Raves is going to keep the position. I think Jab was in DRS detection. Yep, he was. Amazing battle. There's only 2 laps remaining in this race. And they're already side by side going into the second chicane. Still side by side. And Jab gets by Raves. But now Raves is going to try getting by Jab once again. Doesn't have the gap to. And I think Raves might have used all he has. Only 24% charge for Raves, but only 10 for Jab. He's not even using any ERS right now. He is on 0. And 7 months is another time penalty, but I don't think it really matters at this point when it comes to battling for a lead. We were coming off these final series of corners. We were heading into the final lap of the entire race. We're going to see how this battle plays out. And if... okay. I don't believe Jab's going to take this one. My bold prediction for the beginning of the last lap, I don't think he's going to. But I could be very wrong. A jab's gone wide again. Mistakes like that could cost you. And Jab's trying to go for the move again. But will not right now. And I think Jab could probably stay with Raves and win this race off of penalties. Someone's off. And as a Red Bull, it's JB Smooth who's crashed again. Bit of wing damage, but he's fine right now. And here comes Jab. I'm just gonna put this off right here. And Scotty, he's showing up in the frame right now. We'll see if Scotty's gonna play a role in this battle right here. I'm not sure who got DRS. And it was Raves. Jab going very defensive. Trying his best to keep that position. He will not though. Jab's going all desperate right here. He's gonna make contact with Raves. That might have cost him. But remember, the race is not over until penalties are dished out at the end. These three have put on an amazing battle, I must say. But we're going to see who wins this on track. Or maybe, yeah, maybe even on track, because Jab might try making a few lunges, or Raves can make a mistake. I'm not even sure if Jab really must use any penalties. So we'll see here. Not the final series of corners, Jab almost loses it. On track, Scotty almost got by him. Raves wins on track. Will he win overall? And Scotty's DNF'd right at the line. Silly Raves does end up winning. And that is Outlaw. Scotty is crashed right at the end of this race. And that is how Outlaw is going to take the podium. That's how Renault fans going to get P4. P3 as a matter of fact. That's a Williams double podium. Outlaw's penalties cost him. And Senpai is going to get P5. That is the last lap. I don't even know what to say. And I'm sorry for the horrible commentary. Again, that's like the third time I've apologized. I don't believe it. Scotty had that podium right in front of him. Only for it to be taken away. And JB Smooth gets his first points actually. P7 for him. Brian in P8. And Duster probably won't score any. He will, I think he does. He will. Well, I'll shut up for the podium ceremonies. I'll let it all commence as is. Four virtual safety cars and one safety car. That safety car is what saved that race. I still get XP, so I don't care. Alright. Raves takes the win. Renault fan didn't have any penalties. That is surprising. Well, Outlaw is the outlier with 18 seconds. Not sure how they got any under safety car. Duster does end up getting a point, I must say. Raves wins. Jab in second. Renault fan in third. Outlaw somehow comes back for P4. Senpai in P5. Sandro in P6. JB Smooth with his first points in P7. Brad in P8 as he preferred to be called in 8th. Clemson fan in 9th. And Duster with his first points of the season, P10. And that is all for this race, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that, because I definitely did. That last lap and the entire race for that matter, probably one of the best tier 2 races of the season, I might think. Well, that's going to do it for GSR. It's Quinn Half. Sign